Hello, my name is Ashley Baker. I'm a graduate student at the University of Oregon studying costume design, and today I'm going to be talking about making the negative mold for your prosthetic piece. So for this, the materials that you're going to need are the sculpt of your prosthetic, Vaseline, a soft bristle brush to paint the Vaseline on, oil-based clay, and in this case, if you feel like you're not going to have enough to make the sides, you have cardboard as well. You can cover up in tape, and that should be able to work. And you want a mixing bowl, water, and the plaster of Paris. Another brush to apply the plaster of Paris to the prosthetic, and spoons. So the first thing that I'm going to want to start to do is take my oil-based clay here, and whoop, malfunction there, and take it and just start building up a base to go around this piece here. And this doesn't need to be super perfect, it just needs to be something that can get your base for this wall started. You don't want it to actually touch the pieces, but you want it to get fairly close to what you're doing, and you want it to be fairly thick, and you also want to be sure that there's no way for the plaster to come out on the other side. So if you notice, I'm kind of pressing this down to keep it from trying to seep out the other side. And this base layer, you're going to want to be about an inch thick. So about an inch thick from here. And the reason why is because this is what's going to be holding the majority of the weight of the plaster. And plaster can get fairly heavy. So I'm just continuing all the way around, blending this back in. Getting there. Almost there. Okay. So now I'm just going to check and make sure there's no little holes here. The plaster to find a way to get out. And that is looking fairly good. Okay. So now I'm going to take my Vaseline, I'm going to take my brush here, and I'm going to start painting it on. And I'm going to do it on all the areas that are not the prosthetic piece. And the reason why you do this is because you don't want the plaster to stick to anything that it's not supposed to stick to. It's okay if it kind of sticks to the oil-based clay because you're going to end up tearing the oil-based clay apart and then cleaning it up afterwards. But all the other parts, especially if you're working with the styrofoam head to make the nose for this instead of doing the horns on a flat surface, you don't want it to kind of come off with the plaster. So I'm going all the way around here. I haven't quite done a prosthetic with this sort of technique before with the tape, so it is possible, but I cannot confirm that you could do a prosthetic like this without Vaseline, with all the tape on here instead, and everything can still come apart. I feel like it's a possibility, but that's only just a guess for me. So if someone else can confirm that, that would be great. And I'm not worried too much about getting Vaseline and ruining the texture on this part here, because that's not going to be part of the final piece. That will be coming off as I'm applying the makeup. Almost got this. I think that's good. Okay. So now I'm going to start building up these walls here. I think I'm going to try to stick this in here a little bit. There we go. So if you do, for some reason, have enough oil-based clay to do this, what you can do is kind of follow more like what the book says to do, which is to roll it out and create a big rectangle and just encircle this whole piece. But for now, I think this is going to work. And this is going up way higher than what I need for the actual piece here, but I'm okay with that. I would rather have it go too high than not be high enough. I'm going to start filling in between these two pieces here. And as I'm doing this, I also want to think about ensuring that this has enough support in areas where it may need support. So I'm going to do this thing that's not in the book called flying buttresses. which is where you take a piece like this, kind of shape it into a triangle, like a right triangle, and then you apply it to an area where you may think that there's a lot of stress. So I'm a little bit worried about this corner here. I'm going to stick this here, and I'm going to blend it back in. So if you think about like the old Gothic cathedrals and stuff in Europe, and how they have all those kind of pieces that come out from the walls there, those are flying buttresses, and this is essentially doing the same thing. It's supporting the walls that you've created. So I'm going to just continue right along with this. So on a personal note, I think I made a very dumb mistake, and I did my nails before this, and you can see it's just destroying it. Oh well. Ooh. Again, I'm hitting this thing. I'm sorry about that. So I think that one is high enough for this piece that I'm doing. So I'm just going to put the last wall in here the correct way. And then I will be ready to start mixing the plaster. Of course, it's the last one that's going to be mean to me. So excuse me, the most important things about building up these walls is, one, you want to make sure it's thick at the bottom to be able to support all the weight that's going to be placed on it. And number two, you want to be sure that there are no holes for the plaster potentially to leak out. Which is why using this clay as best as you can is so important to this process. clean up my prosthetic a little bit there because I accidentally hit it. I'm just going to clean this one up a little bit more here. And make a few more blind buttresses. And then I should have my walls built up. So once again, I have that right triangle looking shape here. And I'm just going to stick it on here. And blend it back in. There we go. And these can reach up a little bit higher than what I'm doing too. I'm just kind of making sure that I get this base to stay. Okay, last one. Okay. And I'm going to do the plaster part in the next video. Thank you for watching.